Welcome back to Andersen Acres. Today we're diving into the world of halter class competition, specifically for miniature horses, not for the big guys. Okay, my thing is minis. The big guys, there are plenty of channels that talk about the big guys. So if you want those kind of tips and explanations for show classes, you're going to want to find one of them. I am not familiar enough with the larger type horses to give you a good rundown. But for the minis, well, that's where I'm at. So this video is all about what halter class is, what the judges are looking for, how to prepare your horse, what you need to wear because it matters, and what the ring procedure actually looks like. If you're new to showing or thinking about entering your mini into a halter class, this guide is for you. Again, none of this applies to the big guys. They are different animals with different classes and different types of equipment, and everything is different, okay? So what is halter class? Halter classes are basically the beauty pageants of the horse world. This is where grooming and conditioning and training all come together to showcase the quality and overall conformation of your horse. In miniature horse competitions, halter class is judged kind of like Arabian classes. Not exactly, but similar. If you're more familiar with the larger horses, they're kind of like Arabian classes. The focus is on how the horse is built and its fitness, its grooming, and something we call the sparkle, or how willing it is to show off to the judges. You can't force the sparkle. So if your horse has a natural sparkle, you'll do pretty well in halter. In halter class, your horse isn't just standing still. They're expected to walk really calmly beside you on a loose lead. If you're hauling your mini all over the arena, that's not going to work. They are expected to trot energetically, but with control, again, on a loose lead. That's one of the tricks to halter classes. Your horse has to be doing what you're asking them to do without a ton of forcing them. You shouldn't be dragging them or giving them little whacks with the lead rope. And they're supposed to be doing this willingly with you as a partner. All right? It's important. They also need to stand squarely and show for the judges. The thing he hates the most is standing square. He don't like standing square. And depending on your horse, it can be difficult to get them to stand square. He doesn't want to do it. He doesn't like doing it. I thought about doing this video with him on a lead rope and showing you, but he hates standing square. He really doesn't like it, which is why we don't worry about it anymore. He's older, and he's not old, okay, but he is older, and that kind of life is behind him now. But still, standing squarely and showing off for the judge is part of halter class. If your mini is a potential breeding animal in AMHA specifically, that's the registry I'm most familiar with, you might also be asked to show the teeth. Horses are led on your right side, okay? And this is rooted in traditional horsemanship. And even though you don't ride a mini, it's still something that is traditional among horsemen. So you do lead your horse on your right side. So you are on their left. Okay, that's how you lead them around the ring. Now, training your horse does take time. Okay, the goal is a willing and enthusiastic partner. If they're fighting you every step of the way, you are not going to do well in halter classes. Don't confuse a horse that leads well on a halter with a horse that is ready for halter class. It's not really the same thing. There's a great deal more to halter class than there is just walking nicely around your yard on a halter. So here's what really the type of training you should include, and how you train your horse really depends on your horse. Minis can be stubborn and they can be annoying, and each one is very unique, and how you train one might not be how you train another. He'll do anything for a cookie. Not all horses are that motivated for a cookie. So you have to find what works for your horse and the type of training that works. But in general, you need to train your horse to walk and trot beside you on command, hopefully a verbal command, so you can just tell them what you want, and what commands you use, again, are up to you. Some people like giddy up. I find that trite, but some people really like it. So the commands you use are up to you, but if you can do it verbally, without too much physical encouragement, you will do better in halter. They also need to stand still in a proper square stance, meaning all their feet have to be in the appropriate locations. Okay, they can't be all rah. They have to have tuk, tuk, right? Nice, neat stance. And when they are showing, so it's called showing, putting ears forward, so their ears should be angled forward, and they should have that nice arch stretch to the neck, so they look nice and tall and long. And when I say tall, I mean for a mini. They're small, but they'll look tall and looking their most attractive. So trotting is often the trickiest part. For him, it's standing square, but for the majority of minis, it's going to be trotting because it's hard to get them to trot well in control and have them look elegant while doing it, okay? Because it leads to a lot of excitement, and that's where a lot of horses and handlers make mistakes. You can use a helper to encourage your horse to pick up a trot, and you want to stay beside the horse. It's really easy to get in front of them if they're not cooperating, or to end up behind them if they're too energetic and getting ahead of you. Let's face it, they can run faster than you. So if you get them going at too quick a trot, you're going to end up falling behind, and that doesn't look good for halter class. So ideally, you want to stay right at your horse's shoulder, loose lead as you move from the walk to the trot and back. You can cue the trot with your voice. Some people like to use a whip touching the hind end lightly. You're not hitting the horse. I don't like to use implements. That's not what I do. But it is allowed in the ring, not hitting him. You can't whack him. It's just lightly to give him a physical cue if your horse is trained to physical cues instead of verbal. I prefer verbal. Some people use targets or treats or clucking noises or whatever to get the desired movement. There's a lot of variability in what people use when training their horse. Know that if you hit the horse in the ring, you're going to get disqualified. So no hitting. A light let's go is not at all the same as a whack. Okay? So know that even the people who are using a whip are not hitting the horse because they'd be immediately disqualified. Okay? Immediately. It's very, very quick. People do not take kindly to watching someone whack a little guy. Okay? It's not good. So what about showing off the sparkle we talked about? Judges want to see a nice, free-moving trot. That's where your horse's chance, that's your horse's best chance to impress from the start. Okay? A horse that drags or refuses to trot will not score well, no matter how beautiful it is. When standing, the horse should be square, feet placed evenly and balanced. You can hand set the feet. If your horse has the appropriate amount of sparkle, they really like showing off, you probably won't have to. But you are allowed to hand set the feet. If you are too fussy, so you're down there moving each foot and you're being real fussy about it, that can actually hurt your score. So try to find that balance. I prefer not hand setting at all, but he does not like standing. He doesn't like it. He likes to move. So for him, he does require a little placement, a little bit of help. Teaching the whoa command and standing still for long periods is the foundation of a great halter performance. And if they're naturally a showman, if your horse is naturally a showman, they're going to naturally score better. That's the sparkle, that showmanship, that wanting to show off for the judge. Basically, you want your horse to stretch their neck up with their ears up and out so that they look alert and willing to work. You want them to stand on a loose lead, again, no dragging. And you want them to look alert but calm, ready to work but not anxious. Okay, they should not appear anxious in the ring. Treats can help, but don't overdo it. You don't want your horse distracted or chewing mid-show. Try a quick crunchy snack, fairly small, or a few loose oats to maintain focus, but don't go crazy with the snacks. Sound cues or a friend with a target can help keep that attention and sparkle going. It can help keep them willing to be there. So if your horse, we don't go to things anymore because if your horse doesn't love it, if they're not showing that sparkle, showing that willingness to work, you're not going to score as well. Can you force it? Sure, you can force it. That's absolutely possible. You can force it. it doesn't turn out very well. And the horse is probably fine if you're not hurting him, but it's not going to be the most enjoyable experience for you or for him. Okay? It's just not going to be that much fun. So if your horse doesn't like it, maybe retire him. Maybe don't force him to do it. Okay? It's just better. So some horses, though, really do love the spotlight. They'll turn it on and really shine, and they are playing it up for the judge. Others, not so much. Him, not so much, especially as he gets older. You can't force sparkle, okay? You can't. But you can train, condition, and encourage the very best version of your horse if he's not a natural sparkler. To make them look their best, focus on conditioning, which is the exercise and the feed necessary to get him into good physical shape, and grooming. He has to look good. Use techniques to train the perfect stance. Again, you don't want to fiddle too much in the ring. You want him to come naturally to a nice position with only minimal assistance from you. You want to practice getting their ears and expression alert. This is hard, especially for mares. So we've all heard the mare ears thing. It's true even with minis. It can be hard to get your horse relaxed and alert with the ears forward and the neck arched all at the same time, right? All without them being irritated at you, especially if it's a red mare. Some things hold true no matter what size the horse is, and little red mares sometimes just don't want to do it. So it can be tricky. A second person can help you evaluate your horse's profile while training, or you can record yourself and send it to someone who is willing to review the footage and give you some tips. There aren't a ton of trainers available for people who want to train their minis, so a lot of times you have to do it yourself, but you can collab with people online, find people who've done it for a long time. Not me. We didn't do it much. Okay, I understand the mechanics of it and the ins and outs of the classes because I researched them like crazy, but as for actually doing them, he doesn't like it, so we bailed early on. We only did a few shows. But if you want someone who's really good at it, look for someone who's been showing minis and has accolades to their name, to the horses they've shown, so that you can really find somebody who specializes in what you need. And you'll probably have to do it online if you don't live in an area where showing minis is super popular, because again, trainers are not all over the place for miniature horses. So, on to what you should wear, because the human presentation matters too. No, you can't wear your schleppy barn shirt and your ratty blue jeans. What you wear should complement your horse and not distract the judge. You need to be able to run, bend, and move comfortably because you will be doing all those things. So, a few outfit tips: dress pants and a fitted blazer that complements your horse, maybe matches their tack, so that you don't look all clashy. You want to look good together. You don't want loose, flappy sleeves. Loose, flappy sleeves can, one, distract the horse and get in his face, and also distract the judge. Okay, you want to be clean and presentable because the focus should be on your horse, not on you. Also, stick to clean, coordinated outfits. Don't get too flashy because, again, it's not about you, it's about the horse. You need to look good so that your horse looks good, not so that all the attention is on you. If you're on a budget, you want to check some thrift shops or online groups for used show clothes. So usually you can find something that will work. Most exhibitors do wear Western style outfits, but English attire is okay too. You will find most people attired in Western, but use what you can get if you are on a budget. So, what about the procedures in the ring? At most small shows, everyone in the class enters the ring and lines up along the side. You'll perform your pattern one at a time. The ring steward will then tell you who the call judge is, the one that you'll show to. You want to be confident. You want to smile. Don't be afraid to respond to the judge if he talks to you, if he greets you. You don't have to stand there like a statue, okay? It's okay to interact a little. Once the initial inspection is done, you'll finish up your pattern. Stay crisp and smooth in your movements, and make sure you're on the correct side of the horse when the judge moves down the line. Don't be jumping around, okay? And if you're not sure, if you're having a brain fart moment, which all of us do occasionally, what side is everyone else on? Move to that side real quick, okay? If you get confused, if it's a small show, everyone else is usually in the ring at the same time. What side is everyone standing on? Get to that side. We all have those moments where we just suddenly space. Use the other people who are in the ring as your guide. Okay? Believe me, we've all done it. So you want to make sure that you're showing the entire time you're in the ring, not just when you're doing your pattern. Judges may circle back for a second look, so when you're lined up with all the other participants, you still need to be on, okay? Stay alert and poised. At large shows, sometimes they have you enter one at a time and do your pattern individually instead of lining up. I don't like that. I like it when everybody's there, you feel less singled out. But some people prefer just being individual, and that's fine too. Now, that is about it for us here today at Andersen Acres. Drop a comment below if you've ever shown in halter class or if you're getting ready for your first time and have questions. I'll strive to answer them. If I can't, I will find someone who can or look up the answer myself. We'll see you tomorrow.